Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT Network. I am your host, Bronco Bill. Today, we have a very special episode for you and a very special guest. He was drafted in the fourth round of the 1969 draft by the Houston Oilers. He then played 18 seasons in the NFL, the majority of those with the San Diego Chargers, and finished his career with a remarkable 750 receptions, 12,146 receiving yards, and 65 touchdowns. He is a three-time Pro Bowler and an All-Pro and was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in the class of 1996. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a San Diego Chargers legend, Charlie Joyner. Charlie, I know we don't have the video. We just had some technical difficulties. It's totally okay. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this anyways, and I'm just so excited to have you. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad to be on. I'm glad to finally get connected also.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good show, yeah.
Yeah. So, Charlie, I want to go through your career. Such a remarkable career. And we got some people in the chat that are probably going to want to ask some questions, so I could bring that up if we got the time. I know I only have you for about 20 minutes, but we'll go from there. You didn't start playing football until your junior year in high school. How did that all transpire?
My father, neither one of my parents graduated from high school, and getting money and working an hourly wage all day. My father just couldn't afford to send me to college, so I just said, I was on the basketball team. I played basketball before I played football.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on the basketball team, and the head football coach came in at 1 hour practices and said, this spring you ought to try out for the football team. And I said, sure, I will. And I'm saying that jokingly, not thinking that I would even ever get to that football field, because I love basketball so much more. At that time in my life, I love basketball a lot more than I did football.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I went out there and I went to spring training that my junior year. And lo and behold, I wound up liking it the more I practiced.
Mm.
And the practices were a little intense, because there a lot of people, a lot of guys I was in high school with were trying to make the football team also. And the more competitive that they got, the better I got. And the better I got, the more I started liking football. And as a result of that, I just my senior year, I just went to totally football, because that was the only way that I would have gotten a scholarship to go to college. My parents couldn't afford it, and I said the best way to do it is to go through football, because I was a guard in basketball, but I was too short for college.
Mm-hmm.
College, back in college in Louisiana, they had guards 6'5".
Yeah.
6'7" guards. Centers was 7 feet. And that was kind of, and I was 5'10", and I had to go to football, and the guy said, "You're perfect as a receiver." So I played high school ball that year, and I led the state in scoring. I couldn't believe that.
Wow.
And led the state in scoring, the state of Louisiana in scoring. And lo and behold, my high school coach, right just for my graduation, my high school coach brought me some papers to sign, and Eddie Robinson had sent the papers for a scholarship for me to go to Grambling College.
That's amazing. That's absolutely an amazing story, Charlie.
Yeah.
That is totally remarkable. And I'll tell you what, that shows determination too on your part to achieve your goals. Absolutely. I got one question. I was going to save that for a little later, so I'll save that for a little bit later in the chat. But let me ask you. So you were drafted in 1969 by the then Houston Oilers. What was the feeling like when you got that call?
When I got that call, I didn't think that I would be drafted. And Coach Robinson, who acted as my agent, didn't think I would be drafted either. But let me tell you, this is how it happened though. The defensive backfield coach for the Grambling College, where I was playing, went to the Houston Oilers as a scout. And
Wow.
now he was doing all the scouting. He's doing scouting. So the grandmother was in his territory. So he came by and he said, he came by to time me and everything. I said, yeah, the timing is good. And I worked out for him. But I'm very sure that, I won't get drafted because I'm smaller than most guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't very fast, but I was very quick. And I was quicker than most guys. And I could run good pass routes. And as a result, we sitting in a dormitory playing dominoes draft day, and
Wow.
my name comes up.
Wow.
I mean, we all jump for jump, and that was the greatest moment of my life at that point.
Of course, at that point.
Houston Oilers.
Wow. Yeah. And then you also played for the Cincinnati Bengals, and I believe each one of the teams, Houston and Cincinnati, was roughly what 2.5. 3.5 years each, correct?
Right. 3.5 years with Houston, 3.5 years with Cincinnati.
All right. So that takes me to the moment that you found out that you were traded from the Bengals to the San Diego Chargers. What was that moment like?
That moment kind of got to me a little bit because I had never been out of, Houston, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
That's the furthest out of Lake Charles, Louisiana that I've ever been.
Mm-hmm.
And I find out that I'm in San Diego. San Diego, was way across the country.
Right.
And I just kept thinking and thinking and thinking. I said, God, leave me. I got to go all the way to Cincinnati. I probably won't make the team or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that time, San Diego had, they had just traded Lance Allworth.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Who I thought was the best wide receiver in the league at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I adored Lance Allworth and I adored Otis Taylor. Those two guys, I thought they were the best players in football.
Right.
But when I got a chance Lance got traded to Dallas. I guess we can get his last Super Bowl try.
Mm-hmm.
And then San Diego brought me in. And I wanted to play with Allworth, but he wasn't there anymore. He went to Dallas. So I went to San Diego with an open mind, and we come up with Dan Fouts was a young quarterback, and the guy who told me this said, we got a young quarterback, we got a new quarterback, we just got to get some good coaches in here and we'll be all right. And lo and behold, I go to San Diego and I like it because of the weather.
Right.
I was used to playing in a lot of rain down in Louisiana.
Yeah.
I used to playing a lot of cold up in Cincinnati.
Oh yeah.
I go to San Diego and it's 75 degrees year round.
Yep.
And I said, yeah, this is the place for me.
Exactly. There's a question. There's a question from the chat. It says from Glenn Hauser. He's one of the hosts on our network. He says, "Welcome to MHRT, Charlie. Can you share your favorite story from the Epic in Miami that the general public may not know?"
Oh, that they may not know. I'll tell you what now. I think every story ever created with that game has been told to the rest of the country. But the thing that I really liked that I got the good feeling on that is that it was like I think it was third and about 20 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we were driving for that winning score, and that moment I knew I had to make a play.
That's right.
Because I could tell the way Miami set up their defensive backs, what coverage they're gonna play.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew the middle of the field would be open. If I get the route deep enough, I can force that safety over even a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And I can take the middle of the field, and Dan could probably get the ball to me because he would read the very same thing I was reading.
Okay.
And we did it. The safety rotated out of there. I went right down the middle of the field and caught about a 40-yard pass, and that resulted in what? In the winning kickoff.
Yep.
I mean, the winning field goal.
Yep.
Yeah. The 2 more plays, we kicked the ball to win the game, and I was just so happy I was able to contribute, to that winning effort there.
And that brings me.
That was the best.
Go ahead.
I can tell you right now, the Miami game was the best football game I ever played in.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was epic. I mean, absolutely epic. It was just amazing. You know, Dan Fouts said something about you. He said, Charlie Joyner's my favorite receiver on third down. And I'm quoting, all I'm trying to do out there is look for a port in the storm. He's the port. Having Charlie is like
Right.
having a fail safe button. What high praise, Charlie. Wow.
I know. Yeah, Dan and I worked on those third down plays so much, and I did so much film on that. I would take third down film, or even on the old real projectors back
Oh,
in those
oh
days.
sure.
I had,
Absolutely.
I had one of those real projectors, and I get the camera guy to take me a few reels,
Uh-huh.
and I would watch third down and red zone. So the only two things I really studied Thursday and Friday was third downs and red zone.
Wow.
And I would study those films because those were the two areas that teams did not change that much.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
the first and second down game plan might change, but the third down game plan very seldom change, and the red zone area did very seldom change. So I kind of had a good look and a good feel of their third down coverage and their red zone coverage. And I would study that and I find an open hole, and Dan and I would work it out where we could exploit that if we possibly could.
Yeah, and you guys did absolutely. I mean, you know, Don Coryell is going into the Hall of Fame this year, and
Yes.
I I, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that that he's going in and that he literally elevated your game because of the Eric Coryell type of offense. What was it like playing in that offense?
Uh, it was a delight because we had a coach, you know, that depended on the pass and everything he did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we had a quarterback who could thread the needle against any defense in the league. Had a tight end who was no doubt the best tight end to play.
Oh,
That would
sure.
play the game, I think. Yeah. We had myself, and we also had Wes Chandler, who is one of the most talented receivers that I've ever seen.
Hmm.
Yeah. And it was just in it just was in we were in the era right there with that team and those players to throw the football.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
what throw the football is what we did do, and practicing Coryell's offense was even better. I mean, we took to it to like a dream. We took to it to like a dream.
Yes.
Ernie Zampese was our offensive coordinator,
Mm-hmm.
and he coached for Coryell at San Diego State. So he knew everything that the head coach wanted,
Right.
and he wanted to
Yeah.
throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball. And I was with him all the way. Of course, when we got Chuck Muncie though,
Mm-hmm.
when we traded for Chuck Muncie, we had to run it a little bit, because he was one of the best athletes I ever seen on a football field by far.
Right. Do you think he should be in the Hall of Fame as well?
Who's that?
Chuck Muncie.
Uh, no, he I think his away from football life just wouldn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he wouldn't have made it because of that.
Right. I.
Now, now talent wise,
Mm-hmm.
I see. I think I think the most talented guy other than Chuck Muncie to play in that league, Jim Brown.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I placed Chuck Muncie second or third, right under Jim Brown. Jim Brown is always going to be the
Sure.
best player that will play the game,
Sure.
always.
Absolutely.
But I tell you, man, Chuck Muncie was so talented and so big and so fast,
Hmm.
and he could run over you, could run around you. He was unbelievable, and I thought he was the second best football player
Yeah.
around.
Amazing. Um, Back in that time, I know that that Bambi, known to Charger fans, wore number 19. What made you choose 18?
Um, I took 18 when I was in Houston.
Oh, really?
For some reason, and I took that 18 because of Bambi, because of Lance Howard.
Mm-hmm.
I know he had 19,
Right.
and I think our team, I think one of our quarterbacks in Houston had 19.
Oh, okay.
So I had to get the next number, which was 18.
Right.
Right. And then I went to Cincinnati, and Paul Brown obliged me to wear number 18 also. And that's where I got 18, yeah, because I was trying to get 19 because I wanted to be like Lance Alworth.
There you go.
Because I thought he was the best. But I couldn't get it on most teams because, those teams are quarterback numbers.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And
and so
that's the way it goes. Quarterbacks get all the good numbers.
Right. Yeah. Well, that was good. I'm glad you were able to get the number you wanted, or at least close to the number that you wanted. Another.
Yeah, and everywhere I went after that, like going from Houston to Cincinnati,
Mm-hmm.
then from Cincinnati to San Diego, that number was empty. Because always when I got to Cincinnati, got to San Diego, always had just went to Dallas.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Let me ask you: did you ever have a pregame ritual? And if you did, was it the same at home as it was on the road, or I should say, was it the same on the road as it was at home?
I tried to stay with it. I tried to stay with that schedule as best I can at home and on the road. I try to be to the stadium. Whether I was on the road or at home, I try to be to that stadium by 9 o'clock, 9:30, right in that range.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was on the road, I would always ride to the stadium with the equipment people who would have to leave early in the morning.
Wow.
Because they had to leave early in the morning because they had to set up everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For the Sunday. They had to set up the uniforms, they had to set up the lockers, they had to do all that. And I would go in with them and take that taxi ride with them.
Wow.
And I tried to get to the stadium early, and I tried to get there at the same time. I wanted to keep my rhythm the same all the time, every Sunday.
Yeah.
Especially when I was doing good. Yeah.
Absolutely. Another question from the chat from Glenn says, Charlie, what was the transition like from playing for the Chargers one year to being an assistant coach for the Chargers the next?
Oh, now that's tough.
That's a good one, huh?
Yeah, I played 10 years of football with Wes Chandler, John Jefferson, Kellen Winslow.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got to coach these guys.
Yeah.
Now Jefferson had gone, and we got Chandler.
Mm-hmm.
So now Wes Chandler I got to coach him. Kellen Winslow, I got to coach. I said, mm-hmm. How can I coach these guys when I normally be going? But anyway, I had to brush up on the blocking schemes and all that for the tight ends, because I was coaching tight ends also. And I had to, I didn't have to mess with Wes, and I had another receiver named Dwight Scales.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have to mess with them because they knew the offense because they had been there with me all that time.
Right.
So I just did it by feel. I really did. I did it by feel.
Wow.
And the only time in my coaching career I really had to coach was when I went to when I coached in Kansas City.
Okay.
I had to really do some good coaching there.
Right.
But the other places I coached, when I coached in Buffalo, I had, listen to this. When I got to Buffalo, mm-hmm. they had Andre Reed, who's in the Hall of Fame,
mm-hmm.
James Lofton, who's in the Hall of Fame,
right,
and another receiver named Don Beebe.
Oh, yeah.
Who was fast as anybody I'd ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, when I get to Buffalo, I'm not doing very much coaching because in that K-gun offense where Jim Kelly called all
yep.
the plays, he really coached the guys himself.
Right.
So that was 3 great receivers in Buffalo that I didn't have to really have full-blown out meetings with because they knew what was going to evolve because Jim Kelly made up most of his own game plans.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're coming up on that 20-minute mark, and I don't want to keep you any longer than you want to be. There's a couple more questions.
Oh, no, just go ahead.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. I'm loose. I'm good.
All right.
Good.
All right.
Good.
Well,
you want to go? Yeah, I'm good.
All right. I appreciate that. I do want to get to the epic of your career, and the epic of your career is the Hall of Fame. So describe the feeling and emotions. I mean, I don't know if you got a knock on the door or how did all that transpire? Walk us through that.
Well, they kind of when they kind of when your name is on that list and they're voting for you.
Mm-hmm.
They invite you to Canton. You bring your wife and everything. And you
Right.
got your family, and you go to Canton, and you sit in a hotel room and you try to you wait to get the word. Well, I think when they came to the hotel and knocked on my door, I knew I kind of had a feeling that I had made it because I had been not rejected, but I didn't make it a couple of years before.
Okay.
But this time when they knocked on the door, I said, "No, I'm in," because they wouldn't have brought me up here if I wasn't in.
Yeah.
Been voted in.
Right.
Yeah.
So the emotions were you there with your wife? Just you and your wife?
My wife and I.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My wife and I were on it too. Yeah, my wife and I had my daughter. My daughters were in college then. One was at Howard University, another was at Arizona State, and they were in college right there. And they couldn't quite they didn't make that trip, but they did make the induction trip, but they didn't make that trip.
Right. That's amazing. I can't even wrap my head around what that felt like. It must have been total elation, no doubt.
It was.
Yeah.
Total.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, you earned it, Charlie. You absolutely earned it with your accolades. What team did you really enjoy playing against? And what team did you really not like playing against?
They might have one team for both of those questions.
Okay, that's fine. That's totally fine. Then I'd like to know why it's one team with both.
Yeah, I used to love to play against the Oakland Raiders.
Okay.
Because the Raiders played one coverage. They put Jack Tatum in the deep middle, and everybody else played man-to-man.
Okay.
So there was no guessing of what defense that the Raiders were going to play. They played the same defense every time. So that's easier for my preparation for them. And it's easier for the quarterback's preparation for them. And it's easier for the coaches to devise a very good game plan because we knew exactly what coverage they go do every time. But they play the same coverage every day, every time. And they got famous on it because they had great athletes. The one thing that Oakland did have, now they had some great players on their football team. So the fans may not act right, but the players were really good.
Yeah, that's true.
But the players were really good. And I like to play. I used to love to play Denver. I used to love to play Raiders because I knew exactly what they were going to play on defense. Exactly.
And then on the flip side, is that the same team that you didn't like playing against?
Well, because they did play a different game. They hit you and they pull your jersey off and they spit at you, throw gum at you, cuss you. They try to put a little bit more into the game.
Right.
But once you get that 1 year, the next year it didn't even bother me.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask.
That's just the way the Raiders are.
Right. That's true. And I wouldn't doubt if they're still the same way.
I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah, pretty sure. Charlie, you played against some legendary Orange Crush defenses. Are you surprised that none of those players have made the NFL Hall of Fame?
I am so surprised. I think one of them did, didn't he? The safety.
Oh yeah, you're right, Steve Atwater. Yes.
Steve Atwater.
Yes.
Atwater made it.
There you go. There you go.
Let me tell you, the other safety too, that Smith guy.
Yeah.
That other safety.
Dennis Smith.
I don't know why he's not in the Hall of Fame. Man, I'm telling you, that guy was something, huh?
Yeah, he was.
He could hit, he could tackle.
Yeah.
He wasn't a great pass defender, but he'd give it a good try,
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Now that Denver Bronco and the blue linebacker Jackson.
Oh, Tom Jackson, yes.
Tom Jackson?
Yes.
I don't know why those guys haven't made the Hall of Fame yet.
I agree. I totally agree.
But I thought they're gonna make it though. I think.
Yeah.
They should, but because man, I'm telling you, those guys are good. Denver was really good.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though. The Chargers just they were. I mean, your teams were just incredible with putting points on the board. And it must have been so much fun playing in that offense, scoring 40 some odd points every game.
Right.
Yeah.
And hope and holding on at the end of the game.
Yeah. That was a tough part.
We had so many losses at the last 2 minutes. It was unbelievable. But that was Coach Coryell's way, though.
Yep.
Okay? That's just the way he wanted the game to be. Score as many points as you possibly can.
Exactly.
If you don't outscore the opponent, you're not going to win the game. So we just took that notion right there and just said, let's just make everything count. And it's unbelievable how accurate Dan Fouts was.
Yes.
Because I think one year he led the league in completion percentage.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 71 or 72%.
Yeah,
seven completions out of 10 is pretty damn good.
Yeah, you got that right. You take that any day, any day of the week.
Take that any time, yeah.
No doubt whatsoever. Okay, we mentioned about you playing your 18 seasons and coaching 22 seasons. What brought you the most joy overall? I know the Hall of Fame, obviously, on the football side, but I mean, as far as teaching these young athletes and these young kids how you played the game and how they should play and respect the game.
You asked me which I would like more. Which part of it?
Which
I would like more.
No, I don't know if it'd be like more, but which one? Probably both of them gave you tremendous satisfaction.
Yes.
Yeah, I would imagine. So coaching, you had just as much energy and passion in coaching as you did in football. I would imagine that's relevant.
Yes, yeah, I did. Yes, I did.
That's great.
Go
ahead.
I really love teaching young guys how to play wide receiver.
Yeah.
I just thought I can take a raw talent and try to turn them into a Pro Bowl player.
Mm-hmm.
I try to do that with everyone I coached.
That's great.
Everyone I coached. Now, if I find that some of the guys don't have enough talent to really make it to the Hall of Fame or to lead the league in receptions or do that, if they didn't have that kind of talent, I try to make sure that they understand that they still got a role on this team, and you still got to play your role. You got to win your shots.
Yep.
When you play out there if you play one play a game, win on that one play.
That's right.
And if you get that winning attitude, it hangs with you.
Yeah.
The reverse from Morty said winning is not everything; it's the only thing.
Right. Exactly.
Football, winning football was the only thing. Yeah.
Okay, so when go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's what I'm just saying. That's what you play for, yeah.
Exactly. When you and the former teammates like Dan Fouts or Kellen Winslow or whomever, when you guys get together, who tells the best stories?
I think Wes Chandler's a better storyteller than ever all of them.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wes Chandler's a good storyteller. I mean, real good.
That's great. Yeah. Now, is it football related or just maybe personal or just something that he's thought of?
I think it's just about any subject you want somebody to tell a lie on. He can tell a lie on. But he was the best storyteller. I'll tell you.
That's great.
And he loved to talk. He loved to communicate. And he'll go up and down the locker room and sit in your locker and come talk to you.
Wow.
He just loved to talk and he loved to tell jokes. And he was the best. John Jefferson, when I played with him, he's a quiet person. He's a complete opposite of Wes Chandler. Wes Chandler was a talkative guy.
Wow.
John Jefferson was a very, very, very quiet guy. You could hardly hear him walk in the locker room.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just the way they are. Just the way these guys are. They were great competitors and they were great players.
Right.
And they both came out the very same year. I think one got drafted by New Orleans, one got drafted by San Diego. And they had great careers too.
Yeah.
JJ's career should have been more than what it was.
Absolutely.
He was a great receiver who went to a very poor team, Cleveland, and he just didn't have no connection in Cleveland.
Right. Yeah, that's sad. That's sad when
no quarterback, no nothing back there. So
yeah,
He got the bad end of it, but Wes Chandler was a tremendously talented young man. He could do everything: punt return, kickoff return.
Wow.
He was even our third quarterback.
Wow. I did not know that.
Oh yeah, he's the third quarterback.
I bet he was.
Usually,
I bet he was talented enough to pull it off, even in the short time, if he had to.
if he had to in a short time, he could put it on. Well, he went to Florida State as a quarterback, and he wound up playing wide receiver there.
Wow.
But no, yeah,
Interesting.
Wes Chandler was tremendously talented. Keller Winslow was tremendously talented, and our offensive line was tremendously talented. So we had a good offense all around.
Oh, you sure did.
Dan Foss was talented, yeah, and Chuck Muncie was talented.
That was
we had
that entire team was talented.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had some great players.
Yes, you did. And some great teams too. What was it like? What was it like coaching for Buffalo with that amazing team during their Super Bowl appearance stretch?
It was great to go up there. I didn't think I was going to like it when I first took the job.
Mm-hmm.
But once I got there, I guess I must have had to report there in February. I would get I got a team roster, and I looked at that starting lineup in Buffalo,
mm-hmm.
and I'm telling you, it was absolutely Pro Bowl, all of them. I mean, the whole offense was just jam packed with great players.
Yeah, yes, it was.
Jim Kelly, and then you go there and start coaching. Andre Reed is in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Kelly is in the Hall of Fame. Thurman Thomas is in the Hall of Fame. James Lofton is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, exactly.
It's unbelievable, and I can see why they went to 4 straight Super Bowls.
Yeah, which I don't think that'll ever be duplicated again, ever.
No, that'll never be duplicated again.
Yeah,
never be duplicated. I mean, that was unbelievable. They just had what Buffalo did was just build an outstanding team with outstanding players.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Marv Levy was the architect. Yeah.
It's just a shame that not one of those 4 resulted in a Super Bowl championship. I felt so bad for Buffalo.
Yeah, that first one, the guy just missed the field goal.
Right.
I guess you can miss a field goal, but the other ones we were outplayed by Dallas 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And Dallas was pretty good back then because they had Aikman, Michael Irvin, and Thurman, and that running back. They had pretty good players on their own then.
Yes, they did. Unfortunately, ran into a buzzsaw both those times.
Yeah.
Charlie, we're wrap this up. I don't want to take any much more time of your time. I greatly appreciate you being on. It's been such a joy.
I'm good now. Yeah.
Okay. I just don't want to keep you longer than I don't want to monopolize your entire evening. You know what I'm saying? Bill Walsh made a comment about you, which I thought was pretty amazing. He said that. Let me find it real quick. If not, I'll just flip over. I'll find it down the road. But here it is. He said that you are the most intelligent, the smartest, and most calculating receiver the game has ever seen. That is tremendous praise. And I would have to agree with that 100%, Charlie. 100%.
Yeah. I tell you what, I played for Houston 3.5 years before I went to Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was good, but I was a halfway defensive back and a halfway receiver. And that's 3.5 years that, I appreciate those 3.5 years. And but when I get to Cincinnati, and Paul Brown, legendary Paul Brown, is the head coach.
Right.
And Bill Walsh is the offensive coordinator and the receiver quarterback coach.
Mm-hmm.
And when I learned how to play professional football, those 3.5 years, I knew how to play professional football because that's where they taught
how
to win playing this game.
Wow.
And Paul Brown was outstanding as an administrator and a head coach. And Bill Walsh was just really outstanding as a as a as an offensive coordinator.
Wow. And that speaks
I remember.
volumes.
Yeah, and man, that's what got me out of here. You know that.
Right.
Right. Bill Walsh. Yeah, Bill Walsh came here for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Chargers were Chargers were like 3-10. Back then they played 14 games.
Right. Right.
I think it was 4-10 for about 3 seasons in a row. They were 3-10 or or so. And then they bring Bill Walsh. They hired Bill Walsh, offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Walsh, in that 1 year that he was there, they went from 3 and something to 7-7.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Yep.
Then we don't keep him. He goes to San Francisco, and then San Francisco wins 3 Super Bowls. If we could have kept Bill Walsh, as our coach, I think San Diego would have been on track for a couple of Super Bowl wins.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, Bill Walsh was amazing coach. Wherever he went, he was a winner.
Amazing coach.
Yeah.
I mean, this team went from 3-13 to 14. To 7-7.
Yep.
Now that's a big improvement there.
That's definitely a big improvement.
But we just couldn't keep it. Huh?
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
You're really just truly unfortunate for San Diego football fans that we didn't keep Bill Walsh. If we'd have kept him, I'm very sure that we would have been in one of those Super Bowls.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah. What's your relationship like with the Chargers now, and how hard was it to see the team leave San Diego?
My relationship, I have a very good relationship with the Chargers. I always will too, because that's the team I played my majority of my years with,
mm-hmm.
And I really like the football team. I really do. I just I kind of cried when they moved, and
sure,
because my live football every Sunday just went up to LA with them. Mm-hmm. But I try to go down to a couple of games a year, and get familiar myself with the owners and the coaches, and mess around and watch a game or two.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it hurt a whole lot of people, but moving to Los Angeles kind of got to me in my heart just a little bit.
Sure, that's totally understandable.
Yes. But I can understand why he did it, and I have no complaints,
mm-hmm.
Because I still root for the Chargers, and I'm probably still the number one fan in San Diego, and I like them a lot, And I just think they need to surround this quarterback with a couple of good football players.
Yes. Yeah.
And because I think he could be the best quarterback in the league.
I'll tell you what, he's very talented. He can thread the needle like crazy too. So he scares the daylights out of me when he plays, because he plays against my team. So that's never easy to watch.
Yeah, he's definitely a talented guy.
Yeah.
But I just hope that we can help him out and surround him with some real good football players,
mm-hmm.
before he lose a little bit of that intensity, a little bit of that throwing ability, because it doesn't stay with you.
Sure.
Until it every year. Yeah.
Sure.
So if we can give you some help in these productive years he has,
right,
and we can give him a little more help, Charlie may have a chance to, make the playoffs and go to a bowl.
Yeah, I can see that in the near future too as well.
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt. One last question, Charlie, and if you don't mind, it comes from the chat again. Glenn says, Charlie, what was it like at that crazy finish at Mile High where Louis Wright returned the blocked field goal for the touchdown?
I'm trying to remember that. Okay.
That's when I'm trying to remember the kicker. Bob Thomas. Bob Thomas was the kicker. I think.
Was I here then?
You might not have been. That's what I was thinking. You might
not have been.
you,
Yeah,
you might not have been because it was in the 80s.
Yeah, I may not have been in those
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
I just can't remember. I would remember that play, but I just don't remember it being against me. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 85. Gwen says it was 1985.
1985. Well, I got here in 86.
Yeah, so it was right before.
It must have been the season of 85.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, I got here in the season of 86.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Just wanted to ask the question anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Now, some remarkable stats, and then I'll get out of here with this. I want to finish up with this because this is absolutely incredibly remarkable. You were inducted into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame in 1990. You were voted into Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1996, becoming the third Grambling player to be selected. In 1999, you were ranked 100 on the Sporting News list of the top 100 greatest football players. And you were inducted into the Black College Football Hall of Fame in 2013. Charlie, if that is not an accolade, I don't know what is.
I guess I got lucky a couple of times.
I would say you earned it quite well. Quite well.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I like the best though?
What's that?
I was the one where I was still in college.
Oh, Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame?
The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's in it was in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame was in Natchitoches. Is it Natchitoches or Nacogdoches? It depends on how you
right.
Was from Natchitoches, Louisiana. That's where the Hall of Fame was. And the Louisiana State Hall of Fame. And I went there to get inducted. My mother was born and raised in Manning, Louisiana, which is only about 10 miles from Nacogdoches.
Okay.
And I was so proud to get that recognition there.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother was deceased then. But when I found that the Nacogdoches had inducted me into that Hall of Fame, I was so happy.
Absolutely.
That was a remembrance of my mother because she was born and raised in that area of Louisiana.
Wow, Charlie, that's a great heartwarming story to wrap up the show. That's phenomenal. Well, Charlie, congratulations again for all of your accolades, for your induction into the Hall of Fame, for your incredible career, and thank you again so much for being on the show. I'm honored to have you, and I just appreciate your extended time. And once again, just thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. If you need anything, anytime, you got my phone number. You can just call it.
Okay, you got it. I promise you. All right, Charlie, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to sign off here, and then I will talk to you real soon, and hopefully see you at the golf course around the
golf course. Yeah,
you got it.
Golf course. Yeah,
you got it.
Okay.
All right, Charlie. Thanks again. Have a wonderful evening.
Good, and thank you for having me. Okay.
Absolutely, my pleasure. All
okay,
right.
My pleasure.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, that's it. That's the show. What an amazing show to have Charlie Joyner on. I was hoping to have him on video, but technical difficulties didn't allow that, so it was on audio. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. I enjoyed it tremendously. What a great guy. Great stories, great insight. Just a phenomenal just things he had to say, stories and history and things about his career. Guys, you know the shows. I got to cut out of here. I'm going to head on over to the neighborhood and join Mike for the Denver Nuggets neighborhood game 4. So, guys, until next Friday, Broncos breakdown. Until then, enjoy all the shows Monday through Thursday, and then my show again on Friday, next Friday at 5 p.m. Till then, guys, take care. Bye-bye.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway.
You're not. No, you're not doing the neighborhood. When? When was I? I was what? I was. I said end.